Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Creative Duelist here, making decks creative since 2016. Welcome. Today I'm here with my Noble Knight deck profile. Been meaning to profile this for a while. I managed to get all the cards, so I can go ahead and profile the deck profile and show you all my card choices. So let's get started. So, of course, with the main lineup, monsters have got the triple Merlin. Merlin is your Lone Fire Blossom, so you contribute him to special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck. Very important, so you can he helps you get into your Middraw combo, your bread and butter combo. His other bullet pointed effects aren't really important. They don't really come up, but the first effect to basically just Lone Fire and Blossom him off is very important, and that always comes up. So we play triple of him. And we've got double Middraw. You can play triple if you'd like. I only play two because there's so many ways to search Middraw because of the support we got from I can't remember what the set was, but we got some Noble Knight support. There's just many ways to get Middraw on field, and of course Ygobros is also an option too. Then we've got double Boars. Of course they go hand in hand. Pretty standard. Also, I almost forgot, they treat themselves as normal monsters, normal light monsters when they've got no noble arms equipped to them. But yeah, when Midraw's equipped, you can basically summon out a noble light monster from the deck, but you blow up the equipped spell after you do that. And Boars, what's really good about Boars, he's your Pot of Duality kind of. No, he's your Spellbook of Library, that's the better example. So when you equip an equipped spell, you basically get 3 of them, and your opponent picks one at random, and then obviously they don't see it. Well, they see what you select, and then you shuffle, and then they pick one at random, the rest go to grave, and the one that gets selected goes to your hand. So of course you can make the standard XYZ play. So that's where you play 2 Boars. The old ratio used to be 3-3, but again, it can brick, so I cut these down, and it works superb. And I've got double Noble Knight Brothers, really good, especially for link plays, and he helps to unbrick hands because you can just draw a bunch of Noble Knight monsters and they don't do anything for you, especially if you've got no Noble Arms to equip them. But yeah, summons up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from the hand, so you can make an easy Ygobros, easy link plays. And also he's kind of like a Jar of Avarice, so you can shuffle 3 of either Noble Knight or Noble Arms cards in your grave, shuffle them back in your deck and draw 1 card. So he's pretty good in that aspect. I've got double Gwaine. Gwaine, he's just an extender really. That's all we use him for. And we've got one Ivani. This card is amazing. It's a first turn Ygobros. Basically, if you equip him with a Noble Arms equip spell, you get to sprout out a Noble Knight token. And also, when he's equipped with a Noble Arms equip spell, all of the Noble Knight monsters gain a little bit of an attack boost. They gain 500 attack, which is pretty nice. He does come up sometimes because sometimes the XYZ Artorgius can't really put in too much work. So Ivani does help kind of even up the odds. One Custonin, he's okay. When he's used as an XYZ material, I believe you get to normal summon again, which is okay. There are some plays you can do with him, but you only want to play one of him is not that great. He's okay. And then of course I've got the one Dristan. Dristan, he's there for removing. What's really good about Dristan is that he can get rid of floodgates. So when he's equipped with a Noble Arms equip spell, he has to blow up a face-up card. You be careful with Dristan. You don't want to equip him and there's nothing to blow up except himself. He has to pop something, so make sure you be careful with that. But Dristan does come in handy, which is pretty cool. And I've got one Gwalchavad. Gwalchavad, he's a warrior returning alive. He brings back, I think he brings back a Noble Arms, a Noble Knight monster from the grave, yeah, and that's all he does. So Gwalchvad's okay at 1. And that's going to round up the Noble Knight monsters. Got the other portion of the deck. I've got double Morgan. She's a hand trap. So if you control a Noble Knight monster with a equip spell that's equipped to it, and your opponent activates anything, you just pitch this, you negate and destroy what they activated, and you pop the Noble Arms equip spell. So it's really good hand trap to play. And I think that one more, yeah. Then we've got the last monster, Guinevere, really good. She treats herself as a noble arms, so you can equip it to a noble light monster, and depending on its attribute, so if it's a light noble light monster, it gets it can protect itself from being destroyed, so you can just blow this up instead. And if it's a dark, it catasters, so if it was a dark noble light monster, anything it battles, it blows it up, which is pretty cool. So that's going to round up the whole monster lineup, folks. You're more than welcome to play more hand traps. You can play Ash and stuff, but this is just what I'm just giving you my basic build for it. Okay, so for the spell lineup, I've got the triple heritage of the Chalice. This card is amazing. So you get to, this card is just the greatest search card in my opinion. You get to search any noble light monster or noble arms card from your deck or even your graveyard. This is very important because if you run out of equip spells for, you know, using activations and stuff, you can't, it kind of messes up the deck. So say if you wanted to use Isolde and you didn't have enough equip spells to send Isolde, you're pretty much fucked. But yeah, really good, especially if you want to just use the noble arms you've just sent from your grave instead. And also what's good about this, it recycles itself. So if a noble light monster is equipped with a noble arms spell card, is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, while this is in your graveyard, you get to add it back to your hand. So it's just infinite searches, which is pretty cool. And for the noble arms, I got double Destiny, double Caliburn, double Excalibur, and I've got a double Gallatin, double Arfugitere, and one Claren. I'll go over their effects really quickly and really briefly. Destiny pretty much protects the noble light monster being destroyed by battle and card effect once per turn. Also, all of them except for Excalibur, I think. Yeah, Excalibur. All of these, when they're destroyed, they can re-equip, but they can only do that once per turn. So again, kind of stuffs things like, it's good against Twin Twister and MST. You know, if they try to MST it, it just comes back. Except for Excalibur, if this dies, it dies. But yeah, this protects from battle card effects. Caliburn gives you 500 life points, and you can buff your noble light monster by 500 attack. Excalibur protects your noble light monster being targeted, and it's like a rank up magic as well in grave, which is pretty nice. Gallatin buffs it by 1,000, but it decreases the attack points by 200 during each of your standby phases, I believe. And our Fugitere is absolute garbage, but we play it because we need targets to send off for Isolde and for activation costs. But basically, you diminish your attack points of the monster that's equipped to it by 500, and you blow up a set card. It's you know, who's setting in 2019. And Claren, you basically pay 500 life points so the noble light monster can attack directly, so it comes in handy sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the noble arms cards, or the noble arms equips. For the rest, the spells got double glory. Glory is really good, especially if you really needed a certain noble arms to equip to a monster. There's certain situations where my opponent tried to like target my monster to banish it. I'll just flip glory, and I'm like, okay, well, I need something to protect it from targeting, so I'll just grab Excalibur, re-equip it straight from the deck. They can't target it no more. Or, you know, if they try and blow up my monster, I can just, you know, flip glory and equip something, depending on the situation. So it's very good. Then we got one last chapter. It's okay. It's Monster Reborn, so you bring out, if your opponent controls a monster and you don't, bring out a noble light monster from your graveyard and an appropriate target for a noble arms spell, and you just bring it back and you equip it with something. So it's pretty decent. And of course, one Monster Reborn, and my spicy tech is one release Restraint Wave. So you target one face up equipped spell you control, you blow it up, and all face down spells and traps your opponent controls. It's good against certain decks that like to play too much back row, and of course it works well with noble knights because you can just re-equip the spell. So it's pretty good in that aspect. And for the last of the cards, it's just the 3 traps. I've got the until noble arms are needed once again. So it's a pot of duality, but much better. So you excavate cards at the top of your deck equal to the number of noble arm equipped spells you control. So if you have a monster and it's got like 5 noble arms, you just excavate 5. and if you do that, you get to add any one of them to your hand, and you place the remaining cards at the top of your deck in any order. So that's what's really amazing. You can also banish this card in your graveyard except the turn it's sent to special summon from your deck one Noble Knight monster with a different name from the cards you control are in your graveyard, which is pretty nice. You can also play Foolish Burial Goods to send this if you'd like, to get the benefits, to reap the benefits, but I still prefer to search it and set it because I like the, the duality effect of it, but it's up to personal preference. That's going to round up the whole main deck, folks. Okay, going on to the extra deck. Of course, got the double Isolde standard. Everyone knows what Isolde does. Helps to get into your combos and such. One Yugioh, one Borreload. And of course, got the double Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorius. Card's amazing. So when it's XYZ summoned, you target 3 Noble Arm equip spells with different names, and you equip it to him. And of course, once per turn, you can detach materia and blow up another monster on the field. And if he's sent to the graveyard, you get to basically bring out a Noble Knight monster from the grave. So he gives you recursion, so you don't have nothing. So he doesn't leave you with nothing. Double Sacred Noble Knight of King Custonin. He's decent. He's a compulse, so you can detach any number of materials. So you can overlay as many XYZ monsters as possible on him. But yeah, you can remove as many materials as you like. Target that many cards your opponent controls and bounce them back to hand. And I like that because you can bounce anything. If he's a Strawberry Battle card effect, since the graveyard, you get to sprout out a Noble Knight XYZ. So he's kind of like a rank up magic. So you sprout out Artorius. He treats it as an XYZ summon, which is pretty good. And of course, Artorius gets all the benefits. Or you can bring out this one, the level 4 one, I believe. Yeah, Artorius, the King of the Noble Knights. He does the same thing as this, as Sacred Noble Knight, but instead of blowing up a monster, you can blow up as many spells and traps depending on how many equips that are equipped to him. Noble Arms equipped spells are equipped to him, so it's pretty good in certain situations where back row is a problem. And then of course for the XYZs, Excalibur, Blade Armor, Castal, and one Digusto Emerald. Very important, especially in this build. I don't think this is 15 quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. It probably is, I don't know. But anyway, you can change up the roster as much as you like. I play these because there's certain situations where these can't do anything, so this comes in handy. And of course, I've got links. So yes, folks, that's going to round up the whole main deck, extra deck, and the whole profile. So thank you all for watching. If you folks enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like. Comment down below. Feedback is always nice to hear. Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. Any feedback, I'd love to hear it. But yes, folks, this is the Creative Duelist signing out. Peace.